Let's just kick this off with a pretty bold statement. Most golfers are probably playing the wrong irons. It's this huge ongoing debate in the golf world, and today, you know what? We're going to settle it with some cold, hard data. The whole issue really just boils down to a simple conflict.
See, on one side, you've got what your ego wants. You know the one, the sleek, traditional, blade-style iron. It just looks like what a real golfer is supposed to be playing. But then, on the other side, you have what your game might actually be crying out for, the bulky, almost hybrid-looking super game improvement iron that promises all this help. It's a total visual clash, a real battle between that classic look and modern tech.
So which one is really better? Do looks matter at all? We are about to find out. We're going to completely ignore the aesthetics and focus on the one thing that just can't lie, the data from a head-to-head performance test. So yeah, let's get right into the numbers. You know, the first big hurdle for so many golfers is this exact battle between how a club looks and how it actually performs. We see a club we love the look of, and our brain can totally trick us into thinking it's the right choice, even if it's costing us shots out there on the course. Okay, so let's set a really important ground rule for this test we're doing. Looks are completely out the window. The only thing that matters from this point forward is pure, unadulterated performance. That's it. To get our data, we obviously need a fair test. So we're setting up a simple but really controlled experiment to compare these two totally different types of irons. The goal is to reveal the truth about how they perform for the average player. All right, here are our contenders. A super game improvement halo iron going up against a traditional player's PXG iron. Now here's the critical detail, the thing you absolutely have to know. Both of these clubs have the exact same loft, 29 degrees. This is key. Seriously, this makes it a true apples-to-apples comparison and gets rid of the one variable that always confuses these kinds of tests. This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It really gets to the heart of the problem. It's this psychological trap we all fall into where we choose with our eyes, not with what the data says will actually help us shoot lower scores. And this experiment is designed to bust through that exact confusion. All right, the test is done. The shots have all been hit. It is time for the moment of truth. Let's dive into the numbers and see what really happens when these two clubs go head-to-head. And here we go. Our first and maybe most shocking result. Just look at that. The average carry distance is, well, it's pretty much identical. 155 yards for the Super Game Improvement Iron, 157 for the traditional one. So even though they look worlds apart, when the lofts are the same, the distance is almost a dead heat. So if it's not distance, what is the difference? Let's move over to the full data table and see how this all stacks up. You'll notice the traditional iron was swung a little bit faster on average, 81 miles per hour versus 79. But, and this is a big but, look at the smash factor, and then look at the launch angle. This right here is where the real story is hiding. So the crucial point here is efficiency. The smash factor, that just measures how well you transfer energy from the club to the ball. And look, the Super Game Improvement Iron had a higher smash factor, 1.37. What that means is it produced its ball speed more efficiently, even from a slower swing. It was literally doing more with less. But this is the single most important number from the entire test. The Super Game Improvement Iron launched the ball a full 2 degrees higher. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but believe me, in the world of golf ball physics, 2 degrees is a massive difference. It has a huge impact on your game. So why does that 2-degree difference matter so much? Well, it all comes down to the science of club design, and really, what you need that golf ball to do when it finally comes down and lands on the green. The secret here is the center of gravity, or CG. Just think of it as the club's balance point. In these Super Game Improvement Irons like the Halo, the designers intentionally push a ton of weight low and deep into the back of the club head, and that engineering has a very, very specific purpose. And right here, you can see the whole chain reaction. That low and deep center of gravity helps launch the ball higher into the air. A higher launch leads to a steeper landing angle, and that steep landing angle, that gives the ball way more stopping power on the green, giving you so much more control. The design is all about one thing, holding the green. So we've looked at the psychology, we've crunched the numbers, and now it all comes back to you and the choice you have to make for your own game. The choice is suddenly a lot clearer, isn't it?
It's not about a good club versus a bad club, not at all. It's about a data-driven choice for higher launch and more forgiveness versus a traditional choice for a different kind of feel and a lower ball flight. The data doesn't lie. These trade-offs are real.
So what's the final takeaway? When the lofts are the same, the biggest performance gain comes from launch, not distance. The tech in these game improvement irons is proven to help get the ball up in the air and stop it on the green. So the question isn't just about looks anymore, it's about what you value more, tradition or data-driven performance. The numbers are in. Now the choice is yours.